vibration. Show the world what you got to give.
Recording here, and I want to say welcome to everyone on Friday morning, August 21st on Raise Your Vibration online. We've got some amazing guests today, and I just want to welcome my co-host, Laurie Shelton. She's here. Laurie, if you want to unmute yourself, please say hello.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Hi, nice to see you all on this Friday, glorious cloudy morning in Arizona.
Yeah, it's so nice out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such great rain last night too. It's
awesome.
Perfect. Yep. And we have two special guests today, two guests that have not been with us. So very excited to welcome John English and Paul Cannon here today. Thank you two for being here. And so looking forward to this. It just happened perfectly that both of you are, have studied traditional Native American, and Paul, you are Native American, correct? And great. And so we're going to bring this Native American energy into today with John has studied with the Toltec tradition and shamanism, and Paul has performed and actually won the Native American award, right, Paul, for a Grammy award for your music. Is that correct?
We were nominated for, it's like
nominated.
a Grammy, but for Native American artists.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Grammy, actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to hearing you perform. And as always, we start this with music. So if you want to take it away, Paul, we'll play a song and awesome.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Happy Friday. Hauka, Mayutumawa. So I come from San Diego, from the Kumeyaay people, the Ipai, and I'm part of the Wapuk clan, the Mountain King Snake clan. Just like the redwoods, we stay rooted in the dirt, live in the sunshine, letting go of all that hurt. We will find a new way, as bright as that new day. And just like that eagle, I will always stick around. You are my equal. I will never be looking down. You are my best friend. You are my divinity. I will live for you when you are lost and scared. I will be there for you when there is no one there. I will be there for you when you are broken and torn like a river to the ocean. We'll keep moving forward, forward. Yes, we will. And just like the snakes in the grass, they'll pass. No pain or past to nothing in this world will last. Nothing but my love for you. Transcendent energies received by your beautiful being. I will be there for you when you are lost and scared. I will be there for you when there is no one there. I will be there for you when you are broken and torn by the river to the ocean. We'll keep moving forward, 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 we'll keep moving forward. Yes, we will.
Woohoo! Yes! Very nice.
All right, Paul. That was great. Look forward to hearing more from you in a little bit. Thanks.
All right. Thank
You want to meet if you want to meet yourself out, I'm going to bring on John here. John. All right. So John English, I heard so much about John over the past few years. Never met him. I have a good friend of mine, client of mine, who has told me so much about what he's done for her. And actually, I've met a few other people that have experienced John's work over the years. He used to live in Phoenix, right, John? And then
Yes, I did.
Yeah, very cool. And then now you're living in Long Beach, California. That's awesome. That's where my sister lives out there, and it's beautiful. And you have a history of Toltec tradition and shamanism, and you've written a couple books. The Shift is one of the books that I saw you wrote, which maybe you can explain a little bit about that book to us as you go along here. And also right now you're helping a lot, you're doing a lot in the corporate world. So, and bringing shamanism and traditional Toltec teachings into the shaman, into the corporate world. So very excited to hear what you have to say today. And
well, thank you.
Yeah, please jump out here and share your wisdom.
Sure. Well, first, let me just say thank you so much, Howard, for having me on. And it's such a joy and pleasure and really an honor to join the rest of you in really one of the most important acts of service that we can engage in for the planet is to raise our own vibration. So I've, been fortunate enough to I was fortunate enough to be kind of a fearful person and suffer from all kinds of different stress disorders, none really serious, but impacted me enough to spark the journey to look for a different way to live in life. And as a result, first I actually got started by getting sober. I had chronic alcoholism and drug addiction, and found myself at the tender age of 25 on death's door with the knocker in my hand, is the way I like to put it. And decided that I wanted to change my life, and then have embarked a whole new journey. And then after 13 years, I was with a friend, and we made a commitment to see if we could eliminate fear and stress from our lives. And 2 weeks later, I met a shaman, and he began to teach me. And then after he taught me for a while and sent me off to learn from his teacher, I did figure out how to eliminate fear and stress from my life. And then I eventually met my mentor, who began teaching me about the way of the warrior's path, which is the Toltec tradition. So kind of in a brief nutshell, my story about how I got started. And yeah, just glad to be here today.
Good to have you here, John. So, yeah, if you want to go on into a little bit more about, what you do in the world with corporate America and how you help people go on their journey, please.
Yeah. Okay. As you mentioned, I lived in Phoenix and I had an alternative healing practice. And I also taught ancient wisdom, the ancient wisdom of the medicine wheel, and also the Toltec teachings. And then the Great Recession happened, and that business basically went down about 70% in just 3 months. And other major life changes happened around the same time. And I had been mentoring and coaching people who were entrepreneurs for a while. And I looked around and I thought, actually, a gentleman came to me and said, "Hey, do you think we can use this ancient wisdom stuff in my business?" And I said, "Well, I know we can. We've been using it in mine for this entire time." So that kind of started the journey of taking the concepts of mindfulness and stress reduction and how to work with your perception into the kind of the corporate environment. And one thing led to another, and I just kept working on that. And my thought process around that is the majority of people spend the majority of their waking hours at work. So if I want to impact people's lives, have the biggest impact in people's lives, I should do this in the work environment. So that's what we've done, and we found it to be enormously successful. And before the pandemic, they were calling stress the health epidemic of the 21st century in the American workplace. So we've been working on reducing that, and it's been a real privilege to do so. So the Toltec teachings have a definition for the human being. And if there was a Toltec dictionary and you looked up human being, the definition would be magical being of the universe. So what I do in my work is help people to remember that they are a magical being of the universe and do whatever I can to help them remove whatever might be in the way of that. So that's essentially what I do.
I love that. Magical being of the universe. That's great. So how do you help remove what's blocking someone from knowing that?
Well, the great question. Thank you. The Toltecs, now just so another little definition here. Toltec is what the word Toltec means is simply man or woman of knowledge. And there have been these men and women of knowledge who have passed down the knowledge for generations, from one generation to the next. And they refer to internal dialogue, that voice in your head, as the bane of human existence. So when I mentored, there was pressure on me to stop that voice in my head, to stop talking to myself. And but I wasn't told how to do it. I was just told that I needed to do it. And so I figured out a way to do that with basically a mindful presence and focus in your physical body. And so I just guide people through a process of what we call shedding your past and your programming, and then looking at and embracing and learning from your shadow, removing your ancestral garbage, whatever that is, your ancestral patterns, ancestral stockings, and then looking at the roles that you play in life. And the majority of people are defined by their roles. So their roles use them instead of them using the roles. So we work through a process to change that. I'm getting a note that my internet connection is unstable. Can you still hear me? Okay, good.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Yeah, I'm on the road. Sorry, folks. And so then I guide them through a process of that, and then also looking at their beliefs. And by working through that fourfold path, that process, we're able to step into our true identity, which is a magical being of the universe. So that's in a nutshell what I do. And in the corporate environment, I just do the same thing, except I fit it within their view of the world.
Okay. I find that
Yeah.
fascinating. Their roles use them instead of them using their roles. That's
Yeah.
fun. Okay. So are these roles that almost like mythological characters that or just roles that society gives people before they're born or sorry, after they're born or before they're born?
It's
Like,
just, it's, I guess all of the above, but if you look at my life, the roles would be business coach, healer, teacher, brother, father, all of those roles. And I was taught, and I found it to be true. It's truly incredible that all of your roles combined should only take 5% of your energy. And that's what, using roles as a way to express yourself as a magical being of the universe in this world is much different than allowing your roles to define you. I'm a father. I have 3 children. I'm a grandfather. I have 5 grandchildren. I love that role. I relish that role. I use that role, but that doesn't say who I am.
interesting. So do they talk about who we are before we come into this world at all in Toltec tradition? Does it talk about that? And why we choose the roles we do? Is there like kind of like karma or dharma in a way?
Yeah, they don't necessarily refer to karma and dharma, but they put it in the context of fate and destiny. And fate is what you came to, you took on these roles, you chose where you were going to be born, you chose who you chose perfect circumstances every lifetime to wake up and realize who you are. And you came into this incarnation, this lifetime, with a plan, and that plan is what is referred to as your fate, is the way that they talk about it. And so you go about in this lifetime, like I'm absolutely convinced that a part of my fate was to write the book, The Shift and Awakening, which is about a new political movement in the United States. It was a part of my fate. And I know that because afterward, until this election, I lost all interest in politics. I just wasn't involved. I lost all interest. And there were a group of people that wanted to create the political party that was in this book, and I had lost all interest because I had fulfilled my fate. And until this election, I'm interested in this election. I happen to think it's very, very important, actually. But so that's an example of fate. And then once we work through our fate, we wake up to who we really are, then we can begin to weave the threads of destiny, which is the culmination of our lifetimes. So.
Yeah, it is an interesting time with the elections, and
Yeah.
I don't want to go into politics or anything, but definitely for sure, these are, and I was not interested in politics at all until now. So definitely a lot of changes happening. And as far as fate goes, yeah, the same, that's how I was with Raise Your Vibration. This just came to me also. I mean, a year ago, I started doing this. Wasn't my plan to do these at all, but I kept getting the message to bring this together and help people get out there and get their message out there. So it's amazing how we do have fate. And how do most people, how do you help them get in touch with that if they're not connected to that? Because it took, like for me, I meditate. I've done that for years, and that's what connects me with the source. Well, what do you suggest for someone, and how do you help someone in the workplace who's not in touch with that or doesn't meditate?
Well, a lot, meditation, thanks to everyone who's taught and worked so hard over the last 30 years, 40 years to, help people wake up and raise their vibration. Meditation is a lot more common. So I use then, than it was when I first started. So I use the stress is how I get in there. The majority of people have come to accept living in the stress response as just their normal operating procedure in life. And it's not. The stress response is only meant to save our lives if they're in danger. And so that's usually how I'll ask, are you interested in not feeling that way anymore? So one of the things that I'm really grateful for my teachers is that they taught me to be a bit of a trickster. So what I will do is use what you tell me are your challenges to guide you into looking at what you need to do to change and realize fulfillment and happiness in this life. So I'll ask a simple question with an most obvious answer. If you ask someone who's stressed out and unhappy and unfulfilled, well, are you interested in feeling differently? They're going to say yes. And then I say, well, are you open to trying a different way? Because it seems that you're trying this, and that, and it hasn't worked. Are you interested in trying something else? Well, yes. Then the door is open and in we go.
Excellent. Laurie, you want to jump out and ask?
Just so curious. And then so how do you direct them to get there? I get what you're saying, but is any of this through, are you putting someone into a deep state of, how does someone shed their past programming?
Well, there's a whole process to that that involves essentially writing out your whole story and then telling your whole story in nature. So it depends on the person's view of the world. If they have a small view of the world, I work on expanding that first before I guide them to that process. But if it's someone who's right on board, who's kind of heard of these things and everything, then I guide them in writing out their whole story and then going out into nature and pouring out their heart, telling their whole story, not reading it from the piece of paper, but telling their story to some aspect of nature. It could be a mountain, a lake, a tree. I don't recommend using animals because they move around. You'd have to chase some animal through the forest to tell your story. But that's essentially how I do it. And then they have a ceremony to burn that story. And then it's about, your story is not who you are. Who you are is so far beyond your story. Even today, after 20 years, I can't fathom it. So I use power, feeling, to impress upon them that they feel that they can live that. And then they're open, usually open to some different type of scenario. So that's how I do the story part.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you use animal, like Toltec stuff, animal power animals?
Power
yeah.
animals.
Thank you.
We use power animals, both, as helpers in shamanism. In the Toltec teachings, they don't use that as they don't really use that. The Toltec teachings, from my research, I'm convinced that all religions, all forms of spirituality come from the Toltec teachings, and shamanism being one of them. So
fascinating.
Does soul retrievals have anything to do with this part of what you do?
Yes, that's one of the healing techniques that I use. Soul retrievals are a process that comes to us from shamanism, and it's the art of retrieving lost parts of ourselves. So yes, soul retrieval is something that I use as a healing process. So
great. I'm just asking about the animal.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, finish up, please.
Well, just, you know, living here is challenging, you know? So you're
Yeah.
this magical being of the universe, and here you are in this physical body with all of these limitations. I can only, you know, you're born into this physical body, and probably the first phrase that you say to yourself, your first piece of internal dialogue is, what the hell? So, you know, life here has its challenges, and sometimes they can be traumatic. And when that takes place, sometimes a part of us can break off. What the shaman does is journey to the lower world and retrieve that piece of ourselves for the client. So that's soul retrieval.
Wow.
It's very healing.
Yeah.
I have a friend who just went through this. This is why I was even heard about it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice to know you do that.
It's life altering.
And that was it.
Probably had 5 soul retrievals. So
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, John. So I'm going to open up the lines. Anyone else who wants to jump out here and have any questions or comments for John, please feel free to come on out. Anyone? All right. Oh, John, you impressed them all. You answered all the questions. Oh, there's
Hi, it's Claire here. I have a question.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, I'm really enjoying this. Thank you. I
You're
was thinking about past meditations I've done that have evoked different animal spirits. And one in particular seems to keep appearing, which is a horse, almost, you know, like white unicornish type of horse. And I'm wondering if that's something that we should intend, like before we go into that type of exercise, you know, try to really allow the ones that are familiar or that seem to appear a lot to encourage that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. And definitely you want to encourage that. So according to the medicine teachings of many different native or indigenous cultures, and they make a distinction between what they refer to as a totem animal and a power animal. So a totem animal is something that is more permanent, like what you're referring to the horse. It keeps showing up, and according to their teachings, a totem is with us for our entire lifetime. Whereas a power animal might come into our lives for a particular situation that we're dealing with, a particular time frame, and then you know, move on. And the fascinating thing about working with animal medicine, we'll just, you know, bunch it all together in that, is that, you know, by having pets, if you've had pets, and if you haven't, by just observing animals, they all have different personalities. So they're all different. So what you do is you work with your horse, the horse that keeps showing up for you in your meditations, you know, you can use trance states or the shamanic journey to receive its medicine, is the way that it's usually put.
Great, thanks. I've been having an amazing week with owls showing up this week. I've had like 6 owls come, power animals. So it's been, I've read a little bit of.
Yeah, the owl is one of my totems.
Oh, okay.
So
can you
is
explain a little bit about,
totem.
So what is the message of the owl?
So the message of the owl is they fly silently. You cannot hear them fly. So can you fly without leaving any wake behind you, without making any noise? Can you take your ego out of it completely and soar as a human being? Can you see in the dark? So, boy, does that apply right now?
Yes.
Can you see in the dark? The owl can teach you how to see in the dark. And the owl can teach you how to fly through the darkness with an open heart. So, you know, that's something that we all really need right now. It's owl medicine, to fly through the darkness with an open heart. Make no one wrong and lead the way. So yeah, the nighttime totem, my nighttime totem is the great horned owl, and my daytime totem is the red-tailed hawk.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, so it's kind of cool that came up.
Yeah, that's great.
Owl came up. Yeah, very cool.
I even saw one the other morning, and they're usually not in the morning, I don't think, but it was just sitting in some water, like, because it was so hot out. It was just kind of bathing itself at like 11 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is the owl out
That is
now?
a little unusual. Yeah.
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 So Kim Resnick said, what about kitties?
What about
So,
kitties?
Kitty, what do they mean?
I guess it depends on the kitty. One of the archetypal, it's not a power animal, it's an archetype in the Q'ero tradition that I was initiated into, which is from the high Andes of Peru, is the jaguar. And the jaguar is the archetype of the West. So cats are about teaching us to stalk. They're about teaching us how to operate in life without fear. You know, the jaguar has no natural enemies except for man, right? So they're not too fearful about too much anything. So that's, I haven't worked with, you know, I've worked with more big cats, the bobcat, the mountain lion, the jaguar, but not tiger. Worked with tiger, not with any, you know, house kitties, so to speak, or house cats. Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Anyone else have any questions here or comments for John?
What is the significance of the horse?
I have not worked with horse much. My freedom, I would imagine. Okay, the ability to travel long distances, and freedom is the thing that comes to mind most. I would go into a meditation, a meditation, and connect with the horse and ask it, what's the message for you? And then when you do so, focus inside your body so that you shut off the voice in your head and let it speak to you, and see what its message is. I always suggest to everyone that they connect with whatever animal shows up in spirit first, and then look it up on the internet. So, you know, connect first and then go to other people's knowledge.
Debbie, you had a question? Yeah, I think you're muted, Debbie. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I
Hi,
just
Debbie.
want to say thank you very much. I have been attracted to owls for many years, my early 30s, and I started collecting them, but I have always been attracted to them, and I know that they're present in every culture with different meanings, but the meaning that you gave me touched my soul, because that is exactly the affinity that I have with owls, is that flying silently and soaring and seeing in the dark. And that just made so much sense to me and explained my love for owls. I don't even know if you can see it, but in the background on my plant bench, there is an owl behind me.
Oh yeah, yes.
People have been gifting me owls. I have no duplicates, and I have many, many owls and paintings and jewelry. It's the perfect gift for me through all of the years, and now I understand it. And even the live owls would rest in trees in our backyard and land on the lawn. There was a whole family of owls. There were 3 of them, and they were in our backyard like forever, and they'd come and beautifully big. The man and the woman, you know, the male and female, were huge, and they would land on our lawn and just spread out their wings, and it was just a holy thing. It was just wonderful. So thank you so much, because that was a wonderful thing to hear from you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah. So all the owl energy around you attracted the owls into your backyard. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah.
Thanks, Debbie. All right, so thanks, John, for your knowledge and wisdom, and thanks everyone for jumping out. And I want to again thanks to everyone for being here on Friday morning. I know you could be doing something else right now, and to come here as community and raise our vibration together and get some wisdom and knowledge that we can bring into the world. Appreciate you all for being here, so thank you. John will be coming back in a little bit for a meditation at the end, a little exercise. But right now, as always, we have music. So Paul, if you want to mute yourself.
Yes.
All right. Good to see you again. Yeah.
That was great. That was beautiful. Thank you, John.
So Paul, I could say so much about you too. I mean, you're singer, songwriter, speaker. You've performed with Jason Mraz, I heard, or written a song with Jason Mraz. So that's awesome. I love Jason. And you work for healthy medicine and the rites of the rite of passage ceremonies with indigenous people, right? Is that part of what you do? Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So hello, everyone. So yeah, my work coming from a First Nations people has been to not only pass on the traditions, the knowledge, the practice, but also integrate it, make it accessible for different intertribal communications programs. The last 5 years, my wife and I were running an organization where we were regenerating a lot of practices, adopting other practices from other tribes. So, you know, one thing I learned through all these journeys is that a lot of my understanding was that plant medicine, that there's a lot of labels and there's a lot of medicines that people are associating with healing. But the most powerful medicine, I think, is being still and being in a circle and being able to sit and communicate is like the most powerful medicine. And then for self-actualization and self-awareness is being still. It's the most simple, right? Going into the depths of self, clearing the mental chatter. Like this is, you know, these are holy, it's in every holy scripture around the world of just, that's how we get there. So that I learned a lot through all these years of also trying to be of service. So I have experience just being in tribal relations, working with the youth, working with the community, seeing that, you know, statistically speaking, in America, reservations are the highest level of obesity, of alcoholism, of suicide, of addiction. And, you know, and I came from that. I was surrounded by that in my younger years, and it's continually a journey. So I appreciate John's words, recognizing addiction. You know, addiction is a greater pursuit for transcendence. It stimulates the same part of the brain as music and God, spirituality, the pleasure center. So people are looking for that connection. How do we bring that connection? Can't always communicate with the community, and that's why I do music. Is it's a direct shot to the heart. I can say things that may take us hours of in-depth conversation, but I can put them in poetry and I can send out these flowers and songs to the world. And that's my prescription. That's my medication.
That's great. And that's exactly why we integrate music here on Raise Your Vibration with speakers and motivation. Just for that, it brings it all together. Music just brings it to the heart always. So pretty powerful. So look forward a couple songs here from you before.
All right. This
right.
song's called Let Love In. And we'll do a little quality sound test here. Give me a thumbs up or, you know, a thumbs down if it's too loud. And I'm really grateful to be here, Howard. Thanks for inviting me. this is raising my vibration, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So thank you for doing this. Grandpa was a rolling stone, rode away and never came home. Drank himself straight to death. Grandmama had nothing left. When one life ends, a new one begins. My father's surefied, keeps kids up all damn night. I grew up doing the same. Figured out that I need to change. I need to turn that light on. Let love in. Let love in my beating heart. Let love in when the healing starts. Let love in, and a whole new world begins where we are. All we gotta do is ring the bell and push that button. Holding will open doors. Spirit might just show us something we may have missed before. You gotta turn that light on. Any time to let love in. Let love in your beating heart. Let love in and a healing starts. Let love in and a whole new world begins where we are. Let love in to my beating heart. Let love in and a healing starts. Let love in and a whole new world begins where we are. Whoa, all I gotta do is and let it go. All I gotta do is and let them know. Oh, that you can turn your light on anytime to let love in. It can take a moment to be grounded within this time and space. Lord knows it can be a challenge, transcend that negative place. But we can turn the light on anytime to let love in. Being grateful in this moment means living in the present tense. Life's a trip that just keeps going. This circle never ends. If we can turn the light on anytime and let love in. Let love in to my beating heart. Let love in and the healing starts. Let love in and the whole new world begins where we are. Let love in my beating heart. Oh, let love in the healing starts. Oh, let love in and the whole new world begins where we are. Oh, let love in. So you gotta do is
Wow, so beautiful.
That was
Thank
The
beautiful.
tears just
Thank you.
streaming down the face here.
That was amazing.
Oh, good. Thank you. You know, my grandfather, I never met either of my grandfathers. Their names were Paul. They both died of addiction. One cirrhosis of the liver, the other was cancer from drug use. I was just plagued with it. But you know, what I realized is that if we don't look at these wounds, we don't have to live in the wound, but we need to look at it. We need to address it. We need to know it's there. And then we need to like let love in, and love will heal that. It'll heal those wounds. So that's what that song is about.
For sure. Thank you. Look forward to more. And actually, before you get started, I just want to mention to everyone, both John and Paul put their information in the chat box, how you can get a hold of them. And so before we end this today, please get their information and make sure you reach out to them if you're interested in any of the stuff they're doing. Plus, they're going to be on the website with all their info, and also on the website where you have the information about our big extravaganza event happening September 13th. We're already selling tickets for that, and it's exciting. We're going to have 4 phenomenal speakers, 3 musicians, including Luke and Claire, Todd Herzog, Cerise, who's been on the show, Greg Reed is a speaker, Dr. Sharon Stills, Clifford Starks, who's been here before, and Angel Monticelli, who's been on the show before. So definitely looking forward to that, and hopefully you can all join us. It's going to be a phenomenal 3-hour day on a Sunday, and it's going to be excellent, raising our vibrations together. So take a look at that. Website is raiseyourvibrationevent.com, and that's the plug-in for today. So Paul, take it away again. Thanks.
How we sounding out there? Can everybody hear? Okay. I think in times of tribulation and times of being tested, it's important that we keep dancing. We keep singing, we keep smiling. Keep renewing that faith, that trust in something greater, that we have all our needs met, no matter what. And so this should be enough to keep us dancing. My mom was just trying to call me right now. That's a good omen. Well, the power in me is the same power in you. We're the same mind, same blood. This much we know to be true. So when we come close to understanding, when we live a little less demanding, never know what might happen if you keep on dancing. So never stop dancing with your heart open wide, arms to the sky. Never stop dancing. Never stop dancing with your heart open wide, arms to the sky. Never stop dancing. Oh, well, first I'm lost, then I'm found. So proud of the sky and ground. Everything inside comes out. It's what it's all about. When I live a little less demanding, when we walk hand in hand in, I never know what might happen if I keep on dancing. So never stop dancing with your heart open wide, arms to the sky. Never stop dancing. Never stop dancing with your arms open wide, arms to the sky. Never stop dancing. Whoa. Where all cycles come to an end, leading into new beginnings. Turn an enemy into a friend. See the night moonlight is really sunshine. Oh, 'cause that moonlight sand with my heart open wide and my arms to the sky. Never, never stop dancing. Yeah, yeah, oh. Never, never stop dancing with my heart open wide, arms to the sky. Never, never stop dancing. Yeah, never stop. Never, never stop, stop. Whew.
Woo, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, guys. So blessed to share. Thanks for listening and receiving.
So blessed for you to be here. So thank you again for being here. Appreciate your energy and who you are.
Yes.
So look forward to more in the future with you for sure.
Thank you, Howard.
And all right. So again, there's been some questions about the event on the chat. It is going to be an online event for the extravaganza on the 13th, but it is going to be a private invite link for that. So we don't know if we're going to have it on Zoom yet, or we're going to do a live Facebook page where we have a private invite to the Facebook page to answer your questions. And that's it. I don't know, Claire, you want to jump on and say anything about the event? Claire's a big part of this with me here. So
Yeah, it's just very exciting. I hope you'll all be there and share, because what we're all about here is bringing up the vibration as far and wide as we could possibly do that. Send out those reverberations and include as many of your friends as you possibly can, and help to make a difference that way. You know, when you help someone else feel even a little better, you're making a big difference for all of us. So I just want to thank you in advance for sharing and doing that, and being there yourself. Thank you.
For sure. Yeah, we just felt like, you know, these are like every other week now, every other Friday, we're doing the Friday event, and it's only about an hour. To get a bigger event, 3 hours of amazing musicians and speakers will really, really get things pumping and stimulate and raise the vibration even more. So hopefully you'll be able to join us. The direct link for that actually is raiseyourvibration.live, but you can also go just to our website, raiseyourvibrationevent.com, and it'll take you to that too, so you can register. So, all right, thanks everyone. Thanks for putting that up, Claire. Appreciate that. All right, John, if you want to end this today with a nice little exercise meditation, so we can all go into a fabulous weekend here, please do.
Thank you. I'd be glad to. And I just wanted to thank Paul. Boy, perfect segue, both songs. The love is, you know, it's fascinating to me that ancient wisdom keepers from cultures across the globe have been studying power for time immemorial. And by their own humble admission, they'd say that they only know about this much more about it than when they first started studying it. But what power can most accurately be described as unconditional love and motion. And this is a meditation that I have created to realize that you are that power, and use it to dance the wheel of life. So both songs that Paul did, you know, just so perfect. I love the way life works. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to focus on a time in your life that you loved very deeply, or that I even would say that you loved the most. So for instance, I like to use the birth of my children. When they put that baby in my arms for the first time, I mean, you know, unconditional love. And so you're going to focus your mind on this, your mind screen on this time, and that's going to bring up the feeling. And then once the feeling is there, I want you to hold the feeling and just allow the mind to drift into the background. And you're going to hold that feeling in your heart center, right at the center of your sternum, about this far into your physical body, a couple of inches into your physical body. And you're going to feel that, and you're going to let that reverberate throughout your physical body, and then fill your entire field. Eventually, your field of energy won't be able to contain it. And then I'm going to guide you in what we're going to do with it next. So I want you to begin by, some people have used the love they have for their pets. Whatever comes to mind now that is going to allow you to really feel that presence of love. So I'll give you a moment to come up with that. Just a time in your life when you loved very deeply. A time in your life when you maybe felt the most love. Whatever comes to mind is perfect. All right. Do we all have one? Just nod your head. Okay, good. Very nice. And now I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a sigh, and gently close your eyes if you haven't yet. That's right. Allowing your physical body to completely relax. For a sign to the subconscious mind that something is going to change. What's going to change is your state. And now another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a sigh. Feeling yourself sink into the chair where you're seated. And now place your awareness into your heart center, at the center of your sternum, about 2 inches into your physical body. That's right. Feel that area in your body. You might begin to reverberate already. Feel that area of your body and now call to mind that time you loved so deeply. And allow yourself to see it, to feel it, while you maintain your focus. That's right. Allow that feeling to expand as you continue to see that time in your life, feeling it with every fiber of your being. That's right. Holding that feeling and allow it to expand as the mind drifts into the background, holding that feeling of love. Feel it reverberate through your physical body, dancing. Your feet beginning to vibrate as that power of unconditional love is anchored all the way down into the soles of your feet. And now your physical body can no longer contain it, and it needs to expand, more powerfully feeling that feeling as it expands and fills your entire luminous field, the field of energy around you, dancing with color, with light, with power, unconditional love. And now joy sweeping through you, and you realize you can't contain it, so you send it out. You send it out into the universe to all who want to receive this unconditional love, this power of life. You send it out. You're a channel for it, continuing to hold your awareness in your heart center. And as you send it out, it comes back. And it continues to come back and flow through you and out again, flowing through you and out again. And you realize that you are unconditional love in motion. That's who you are. You smile, great joy, as you just allow that channel to continue, as you realize that everything is made of that. It is made of power. And that power is unconditional love. And maybe the emotion swells up as you realize that you can always be this, that you always are this. All you have to do is place your awareness in your heart center. So you make a commitment to yourself to come back over and over again, anytime you need to, just to focus in your heart center and stop all dialogue and be a presence of unconditional love consciously in this beautiful world. And now a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth with a sigh, and hold your awareness in your heart center. And as you go forward from this moment on, be a channel for power, the one power, unconditional love in motion. Thank you.
Oh, so peaceful. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for being here and appreciate who you are and your message. I'm so grateful that we met and that
Yeah.
you're here. So thank you. Look forward to more in the future as well.
Thank you.
And boy, gotta wake up here. So I didn't want to forget Kai. Kylene, are you out there? Can you jump out here?
Yeah.
All right. Kai's another partner of ours, Claire and mine, for the September 13th event. So just wanted to say thank you, Kai, and if you want to say anything about the event, please do.
I just wanted to say right now, when we're talking about the event, if you think of someone that you want, would be fun to attend with, events always, we amplify our vibration when we do it with people we love and we care about. So reach out to them and pull them in and buy your tickets together, have that pact together that you're going to do this for yourself and the love of your friend or family that you bring with you. We look forward to seeing you there.
All right. Most definitely. Thanks, Kai. All right. So everyone have an amazing week. And just let you know, we're not doing this weekly anymore. It's going to be every first and third Friday. So the next one will be September 4th. I've got an amazing astrologer, cosmic astrologer that's going to be on, Bev Wood is her last name, Bev Wood. And then I believe Luke and Claire will be performing too, pretty sure. So look forward to that. So have a great weekend, everyone. A great week and a couple weeks. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the 4th. And keep your energy raised and change the world. Okay.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one. All right. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you too.
Raise your vibration. Show the world what you got to give.